welcome. This is the San Leandro Chamber of Commerce Small Business Week 2022. I'm Emily Grego. I'm President and CEO here at the San Leandro Chamber of Commerce. We have planned quite an exceptional week for all of you for in-person and virtual workshops all week long. So I want to encourage you to go to the Chamber of Commerce website and just look at the calendar of events and see what else might be interesting you. So thank you for that. And I want to just first say we are recording this. So this recording will live on our YouTube channel eventually. Once the week is all over, we'll get everything uploaded to our YouTube channel. But I just want to let all of you know that and disclose it before we move forward. I want to thank the City of San Leandro, who is one of our partners for this week. So Des, you are out there, I believe.
Woo-woo.
And also Lars, thank you from the City of San Leandro for being such good partners with the Chamber of Commerce. And then I want to thank our staff. Jessica Prado is our marketing and events manager, and she is helping us with putting all of this together and helping on the back end. And we also have Diana Elliott. She's our administrative assistant. So any questions throughout the rest of the week that you might have, you can email either of those two ladies and they can help answer your questions. Let's see here. I want to give a few housekeeping rules. The first one is that in order for us to have an engaging workshop, we hope that everybody will keep their camera on. That is the best way that we can kind of all see who's out there. And if you're nodding your head or you're just kind of getting the information, it's always really helpful. We want you to stay muted until we get to the question and answer part. Now the chat will be on, so you can certainly put in your questions in the chat, but until we get to the question and answer part, we won't be actually asking them. So I think that that's all of the odds and ends from me. And I just want to kick it off this year with making sense of online marketing. So prior to this, we surveyed all of our members and asked, what is it that you need for Small Business Week? What would you like to learn and hear about? And we heard from over 50 people. We need more customers. We need more visibility. That's what we need. We need repeat. How do we engage our repeat customers? And so that was one of the reasons we wanted to bring Tracey and some of our other presenters later on in this week, is to kind of touch on all of that. So from this session, you're going to learn how people find you online. You're going to learn how to set yourself up for success and how to encourage new and repeat business. Our guest speaker is Tracey Lee Davis, and I'm going to give you some information about her. She is the founder of ZingPop social media. She's turning busy small business owners into online marketing rock stars. She's a social media expert, a certified partner for Constant Contact. She coaches entrepreneurs in how to grow their business using social media. She's also a featured speaker for associations and business groups. She's Alignable's 2022 Local Business Person of the Year for San Jose. She is top 25 US business mentor for 2021, and she's a certified content marketing strategist. So Tracey, we are so excited to have you here. We know how awesome it is to have award winners. We just celebrated a bunch of our own award winners last week with another event. So
wonderful.
Honored and happy to have you here. Tracey started her career being a small business owner. She had a small pet business, and now she's expanded that business and gone on to this new venture. So Tracey, thank you for being here. We're all really excited to hear from you, and the stage is yours.
All right, my pleasure. Happy to be here. Let me just, I need to be able to share my screen, please. So one moment, and then I'll be able to do that. All right, here we go. Thank you very much. All righty, if someone could just confirm that you can see my screen. Great, thank you. All righty, so we're going to talk about how to make sense of online marketing today. So if you are interested in getting the slides that I'm showing today, you will be getting them. I'll be referring to a variety of resources, and so I'll be sending those to you later on today. So just use that information how you will. All right, so now For anyone of you who have done any sort of online marketing, you probably will agree when I say that it's not easy. And you can take solace in the fact knowing that you are not alone in feeling this way. It's not easy, but it is an exceptional opportunity for your small business. So if you're like most of my customers, I know you're busy. I know that you don't have the luxury of a whole lot of time to figure everything out and how to keep up with all of the latest tools. And it's not just the tools, it's you want to be able to also understand all the fundamentals of marketing and, being able to get the most out of them. I get it. In today's world, technology moves so fast, and you want to know how to make the most of your out of your time and your money. And so that's what I want to help you with today. All right. So there are a ton of opportunities when you get your business online. 69% of people are searching for a business at least once a month. And so that's an opportunity for them to find you. We also know that businesses who are online see growth, with 43% of businesses experiencing a significant growth in their online sales. So even though we know that people are looking and we know that businesses are seeing growth, guess what? 45% of small businesses don't have a website. This is an issue. So this really begs the question, why aren't more small business owners online? And so what is it that's holding small businesses back? Now, there are folks who they just don't think that online tools can help them. There are also those who are using them but don't find them to be effective. But that effectiveness really comes down to the biggest issue for small businesses, which is not having enough time or even experience to implement all of this stuff. Well, the good news is that you are here today, and I am going to help you make sense of it all. Now, once you understand it, you can make better decisions on where you're going to be spending your valuable time. And so today I want to give you a nice foundation so that if you do just these basic things, you'll be in a much better position. And hopefully, as you start seeing some success, you'll want to explore the other things that you can do for your business. So here is a look at what we're working towards. There are essentially 5 steps that you'll want to go through to set yourself up for success with online marketing. And once you know what you're trying to do, you can better understand how the tools available to you can help you do it. So for those of you who have a brick and mortar store or a physical location, these steps are going to be basically the same things as what you do offline as well, even back before all of this fancy technology. So what we're talking about today is not as much of a mystery as you may feel it is. You just want to make sure that you're utilizing today's technology to be successful. All right, so here is how we're going to break out those 5 steps. Today, we're going to cover how people find you online, how to set yourself up for success, and how to encourage new and repeat business. Now, we've already gotten my introduction, so I'll just be really quick with this. Again, my name is Tracey Lee Davis. I'm the owner of ZingPop Social Media. I'm a social media coach and an email marketing manager, and I am hired by business owners who are resistant to social media and email marketing. And that's usually because it feels so big and complicated and overwhelming. So what I do for my clients is give them a simple starting point and a plan so that they can get more exposure, make more money, and look like a rock star online. I am very heavily involved in supporting small business owners through both of my businesses. Along with ZingPop Social Media, I co-own a women's networking organization called Women's Networking Alliance. Now, because I am a Constant Contact partner, I am going to be showing some examples from Constant Contact today, but the principles are the same no matter what marketing programs and platforms that you're using. So if something does come up that's specific to Constant Contact, I'll be sure to let you know. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some time with me today, and let's dive in. All right, so I'd love to see in the chat, get you all woken up here a little bit. How do you get most of your business today? Put that in the chat. How are you getting most of your clients? Anyone want to be brave and talk about how you find your clients these days? Word of mouth, word of mouth. All right, great. Anyone else? referred by attorneys and bankers. Okay, yeah, online, Google, find my organizer, referrals, and Facebook. Awesome. Okay, great. So just like you, many small businesses say that word of mouth is one of the most important ways for people, for businesses to get new business. So just like most of you said, fantastic. Now, here's the thing that I want you to understand as we go through all of the material today. Business is built on relationships. People do business, you've heard this before, with people who they like, know, and trust, right? Now, online marketing provides more opportunities to strengthen those existing relationships and build new ones so that you can extend that word of mouth for your business. And as a small business, you have a huge advantage over big businesses out there because you actually know all of your customers. Many times you interact with them in a way that big businesses just can't. So it's these relationships that are going to keep your business top of mind and give you an edge. Now, a little bit later in this presentation, I'm going to share an approach called engagement marketing so that you can see how you can bring new customers to your door. But for now, just keep this in mind. Even though we're talking about online marketing, we're still talking about engaging with people. So if your focus is on the people who are important to your business, you're going to be more successful than those who are chasing every new tool and new trick and new hack out there. I'm not going to be talking about any silver bullets here today, because they don't exist. And I'm pretty sure you know that, right? So you have to do the work. And I know that you're not afraid to do that. So here's a good rule of thumb to keep in mind about everything that we talk here today. If you wouldn't do it if you were face-to-face with someone, don't do it online. Pretty simple starting point. All right, so let's get started and talk about the ways that people are going to find you online. So as I said before, word of mouth happens online and it happens quickly. It happens anytime someone reviews, shares, mentions, recommends, or connects with a business in some way. Now on the screen, we can see some examples of how this can happen on social media. So sharing content and information, recommendations, people sharing what they're interested in. Now your business has an opportunity to be a part of more of these conversations, which increases the chances of people recommending or seeking you out when they need what you have to offer. So let me share an example of the power of word of mouth. I have been getting my hair done by the same guy since June 2007. And for whatever reason, for the first 8 years or so that I was working with him, I never took any pictures of me there at the salon. I always checked in, I always talked about it. But then so every time that I go in, and prior to the pandemic, I colored my hair every 6 weeks. So I was going into my salon every 6 weeks, starting in June of 2007. I always posted about that every time that I went. I always took a picture after a certain point and posted that every time I went. I talked about how much I love my hair guy. I have gotten him so much business. And I'm not going out there and saying, oh, if you want your hair to look great, you got to go see Bobby. I just post a picture of me really happy with my hairstylist. And he got so many people coming to him just because I was talking about him. And your customers can do this for you too. It's really powerful. So let's talk about this. Another way that this word of mouth happens is, aside from people like me posting things, it's when people perform a search online. So it's important to know what they are finding about your business when they go looking. So here are just a few examples of what someone might find in a search result that's pretty common. So in this example, I did a search for the business name, Constant Contact. So we searched by the specific business name. And so here we can see a paid ad at the top, and then the organic search results below that. Now this paid ad at the top is what obviously a business pays for to make it land at the top of that, or at the top of that page. And then the organic result is what pulls up in relation to those keywords that the users put in. And this obviously is all for free. Now the organic results will be listed based on the relevancy to the user's search terms. Now, another common thing that you can see is the Google business listing on the right-hand side. That includes all of the pertinent information that you put into your profile. And by the way, if you don't already have your Google Business Profile set up, you want to create your listing. This is another way that you have more control over what pulls up when someone searches by a business name, because this will also be there at the top. Now, on that same results page, if you scroll down in this particular example, you should be able to find some information on reviews, on Wikipedia. Social media is going to show up in some places. And so these are just a few examples of what people will find when they do a search by a business or organization's name specifically. Now, if you're not online, when people go searching, your prospects can't find you. And they simply don't have a way to start that relationship with you to do business. So you need to make sure that you can be found and that information that's out there is accurate. Now, let's take another look at a common scenario where people might search based on keywords. So you want to ensure that your business shows up in either scenario, and you want to make sure that the information is accurate, because people don't always necessarily know the type of they don't know the name of the business that they're looking for, but they're looking for a particular type. So here is an example with a search by the phrase cheese shops near me. Now you should be able to find all of the ways that your customers are finding you or not finding you. So make sure that you're showing up in the organic search results. And if you're running Google Ads, you obviously want to make sure that those pop up in the results as well. So now in this cheese shop example, we can see that it pulls up the map listings first because they have a physical location. And if you scroll down, they're going to find information such as your website, social media channels, other business listings like Yelp and Google, maybe even articles if you have any out there. So you want to review this information in the various scenarios for your keywords and your specific business name. You want to show up in a couple of different forms. So take a few minutes to take control of this information that does come up in the search results and make sure there aren't any surprises in the information that's presented. I definitely have some clients look up and find really old information. It's like, why is that still out there? Because they hadn't updated it. So you want to make sure that you find, claim, and update any listings that are out there about your business. And also keep in mind that in general, most people won't look at the results past the first page, but it couldn't hurt to look at the next couple of pages in the search results that come up, just so that you know where you're showing up in various places. Then your audience is going to click on one or many of the different results that come up. So you want to make sure that you're providing the information that they're looking for. And for those of you who already have a website, make sure obviously that your website is up to date. So it should have your basic information so that they can see what you offer, your pricing, ways to contact you, all of that good stuff. The key is that when they click through, no matter which channel they click through to, is providing the information that they are looking and searching for. You want to provide answers to questions that they have, while also demonstrating what it might be like to be working with you. Now, truthfully, they're going to be forming opinions based on what they see during these these searches. So remember that these people are deciding whether they're going to do business with you or not. So you want to prove that you are a credible business and that you're trustworthy. Now, when they click through on social media, here's an example of what they might see, more specifically on Facebook, of course. They're going to be able to see reviews, your location, any posts that you've done, and the interactions that you've had with other people. Now, of course, you'll want to engage in conversations on social media when people tag you or interact with you on those platforms. And that all goes back to building great relationships and helping them form a good impression of you. Now, here's just another example of what people can see when they click through to a review site. They want to see that you're actually paying attention to the reviews as well. They want to know if you're paying attention to the good reviews and the bad reviews. So say thanks for the good reviews, and if you get a bad one, then try to solve their problem. Well, Yelp is just one example, and I know that a lot of small businesses typically don't like Yelp, and I get it. I'm right there with you. But look at these results. Are people leaving reviews for you on Yelp already? You don't want to ignore them because people are going to be influenced by that information if they click through to Yelp. So make sure you claim that listing. And along the same lines, I know that it's hard when you get negative reviews, and they very well may happen. Now, So having review sites means that you also might get reviews from people who aren't being logical or reasonable. And the good thing is at this stage of the game is that most people are going to be able to tell when someone's being a little bit bonkers or out there writing a review. So don't be too worried about the aspect of negative reviews. But the big thing is here is that you want to try to control what you can so that you can positively influence people who are searching for a business like yours. So just remember, they are already forming opinions about you and deciding whether you're the right business for their needs. So you want to try to control that narrative as much as you can. Now, at this point, you have the basics for understanding how you can be found online and how you can start to work on building relationships with people. So you want to set yourself up to be part of the conversations that are happening online already. Make sure you're present, that you're engaging and interacting with people, and you're providing resources to help people talk about you. Online marketing works best when you're not just dumping links and shouting to the masses. You want to be present, you want to be helpful, you want to be a real life human being. So when people search for your business or things related to your business, you'll want to make sure that your business shows up. And when they click through, you'll want to provide what they're hoping to find and make sure that that information is accurate. Okay, so now that is not highlighting the right bullet point, but that's all right. Now that we have a good understanding of the ways that people can find you, what should you do to make sure that you have this strong foundation in place? Let's talk about the tools that you should be using and some tips to get you started with them. Now, unfortunately, we don't have time to talk about each of these really in depth today, but I do have resources, of course, to help you go deeper. All right, so let's see some of the tools that you'll need to be online successfully. How many of you in the chat, why don't you let me know, do you have a mobile responsive website? Anyone willing to say yes or no, or I don't know, which is a fine answer as well. All right, Laura says yes, yes, amazing smile, great. I'm guessing not, since I don't know what it is. I appreciate your honesty. That's great. Okay, well, so this is one of the most important things that you'll want to incorporate into your online strategy. This is one of the most basic things that you're going to need. Now, to tie into that, I suggest also using an email tool that can continue to influence people when they leave your website. Next step is to have a primary social channel, especially when you're just getting started. You do not need to be on every single social platform out there. Just focus on one instead of all of them so that you can do a really effective job, and then you can expand if it makes sense. And don't forget about all of those business listings that come up in the results. So make sure that they are up to date. And the last thing that I want to suggest is having an easy way to create content, because this is going to help you show up better in search results and also provide answers to common questions that your prospects and customers may be searching for. So let's talk a little bit more about each of these. All right, first up is the website. A website is your home base for all of your marketing activities, and you should definitely get one if you don't have one already. And you want to make sure that it's mobile responsive. And that means it's going to look good and is easy to use no matter what sort of device people are using it on. So we can see this website on both of these, on the desktop and on the mobile view. It changes, it adjusts depending on the view or the device that someone's using. Now, in my conversations with a lot of small businesses, there's a common thread that they just don't feel that they need a website. And in a lot of instances, they feel like, oh, I can just put all of the information that's needed on my social media accounts. But the truth of the matter is you want something that you control, that you own. It's another thing that will help you show up in search results. And plus, you don't want to be tied to a social platform. The algorithms limit your exposure. Social channels are a great addition to your website and other marketing activities, but they should not replace your website and other marketing activities. Your website is going to serve as a home base for everything that you do. This is a place that you drive people from all of your other channels. Now, one stat that we found showed that 30% of consumers won't consider doing business with a company that doesn't have a website. So if you don't already have one, you should get one. People are expecting you to have a website, but they're also expecting you to answer the questions on whether you're the right business for their needs. So that needs to be on there as well. So in order to accomplish this, you'll want your site to have 3 pages at the very least: a home page, an about page, and a contact page. Now, for a lot of visitors, you don't have a lot of time before they leave your site. And so the home page is where most people are going to land at first. So when you think about creating a home page or modifying your existing home page to be more successful, you want to answer these questions. What is your product or service? You want to be specific. You want to be clear. Now, who is it for? The visitor is asking, is this for me? So who is your ideal customer? Do you serve a particular group or industry? And then, so what? Why should your potential customer care? Why should they choose you? Is there something about you or your product or your service that makes it unique? And then what should your visitors do next? Should they make a purchase, contact you, request a demo, give an email address for resources? What's that next step? And then you have the about page. Now, remember, we do business with those who we like, know, and trust. And the about page is where we can start to build on that. So things that we want to be answering here. What's your story? What problem are you trying to solve for your customers? What obstacle did you overcome? Why is your work important to you? And then why should people care? How will potential customers benefit from working with you specifically? Do you have any testimonials? How will it give them peace of mind to be working with you? And then what makes you or your business different? What are you better at than anyone else? How will you use your skills to help them? And what's your plan for them? And the third page for your website that it must include is your contact page. You want to be approachable, so this is your chance to connect. The question this page should answer is, where can I find you? Do you have a physical location or locations? Where is your company based? Do you have social media channels? And then when can I find you? What are your hours of operation? Are all locations the same? Are there different hours for support? Or do you have other functions that people can utilize to find you? And then how do I contact you? Is there more than one way? You want to start with your preferred method. What should they expect in terms of a reply? So now design and visuals are going to play a role in people's opinions of you. That's just the way it goes. So you want to include some really great imagery that reflects real people. This means your customers, your employees, and in the end, you want your customers to see the real success that they'll get by working with you. So overall, of course, use high quality images whenever you possibly can. And that's not saying that you have to use a professional photographer, though I definitely would recommend, but we all have really high quality photography devices in our pockets, on our desks, in our purses. So you can start that way. All right. So on your homepage, you want to show what success looks like for someone using your products or services. On your about page, you want to show your professional personality, include staff. Please include you personally so that people can see that there is a real live human being behind your business. You are the owner of your small business, so you should have your face on there so that people can get to know you. You might want to have some action shots. You want people to start to imagine what it would be like to work with you. On your contact page, if you have a physical location, not a bad idea to show that physical location, show people having a great time. This is important if you have a restaurant or another place where a lot of people get together in person. So include a map, and this is definitely important for non-obvious locations. If you are located within a building or your entrance is not on the main street, whatever, if it's something a little bit odd, you definitely want to show that information. So now let's talk about email for a few minutes, one of my favorite things. Now, why would you want to use email as part of your online strategy? Well, email is still ranked as one of the most effective marketing channels. And this goes back to tying your online channels together, your website, your social media, all of this stuff so that you can influence people. Think about what really happens when people get to your website. in many cases, they're probably not going to stay for a really long time. And ideally, you want to be able to influence them in the short amount of time that you do have. And so email is what's going to help you stay in touch with them. You want to encourage them to do business with you, or visit your brick and mortar location. You just want them to stay in touch, right? So the great thing about email is that it's an opt-in marketing channel. They specifically say yes when they want to hear from you. So give the people what they want and send them some emails. Now, it's another asset that you own in the form of your contact list. So just like your website, you own your email list. And so if you're just relying on social media to connect and influence, again, you are missing out on some opportunities, because what if one day Facebook isn't working, if that's where you have your home base? Back in, I think it was October, it was down for 6.5 hours. People lost their minds. And so if you are relying on a social channel, if it's not working, or let's say in an extreme case, it gets taken down, if they close up shop, you lose out on all of those followers because you don't own their contact information, but you do with email marketing. And while there are a variety of places that you want to ask people to sign up, first and foremost, make sure that you have a form on your website. So when someone signs up for your email list, it's a time when this new contact is highly engaged with your business. And so you want to make sure that you take advantage of this time right off the bat. And to do this, I recommend using a welcome series made up of generally 2 emails. Now, your new contact should receive the first email immediately after they sign up. And its purpose is to fulfill on the offer that you entice them with to sign up and to welcome them to your email list. Then you can set some expectations on what sort of content and frequency they'll expect to hear from you in the future. Now, email 2 lets your new contact know the ways that they can engage with you. So if you have active social media channels, this is where you can invite them to connect with you there. And so why would we want to get our email contacts to connect with us on social media? Well, one reason is that you have just one more opportunity to stay top of mind with your contacts beyond the inbox. And the other reason is that if your contacts engage with you on social media, excuse me, got a little frog in my throat. Okay, I got it. All right. What was I saying? If your contacts engage with you on social media, that engagement increases your exposure to their connections, who are more likely to make, or who are also likely to make good prospects for your business or your organization. So just one more way to stay top of mind. Now, not all of your emails should be promotions to sell your products or services, because just no one likes to be sold to all the time, right? So you're going to want to have a variety of different types of emails that keep your business or organization top of mind. Now, with email marketing, you want to build a relationship with your audience that over time encourages them to continue to do business with you. And that's why you'll want to include a mixture of promotional or time-based emails and informational emails. Now, as a reminder, time-based emails are when you have something that's time sensitive, like your sales or promotions or events. And then informational emails focus on sharing information that helps you connect with your readers. So this is where you can provide valuable content that helps support your products or services and keeps people in the know about what it is that you do and what you're an expert in. So next up is social media. A lot of small businesses get on social media because they think it's the thing to do, and they get on a bunch of channels because it's like, great, I need to be on them all, right? Well, no. In the end, doing this, they feel like they're just spinning their wheels and not seeing a lot of results. So with this, I want to say, don't let social media overwhelm you, of course, and really the way to make that easier on yourself is just to pick one channel right now for primary use. Think about where your target audience is and what your goals are, and pick a platform that helps you with that. Your goal should be to bring people back to your site and get people onto your email list. So for those of you who are just getting started with social media, each channel has its own sort of personality. If you do decide to use more than one, I would encourage you not to post the exact same thing on every channel, because each channel has a little bit of a different voice, a little, different etiquette. So posting the same thing on each channel may not get you the results that you're looking for. So if you're curious what I mean by this, I would recommend to check out Netflix on Facebook and then also on LinkedIn. The information that they share on LinkedIn is a little bit more behind the scenes and business related, and on Facebook, it's a little bit more on the fun side. So think about the nature of the channel and what's appropriate there. Give people a reason to follow you on different places. Now, these are just a few of the top social platforms and a little bit about their personality. Of course, there are tons of different platforms out there. These are generally regarded as the top, though TikTok now absolutely should be on this slide. Just need to get that updated. But no matter what channel you choose, your goal should be to get people to your website and build your email list, and that helps you drive business from there. Now, to reiterate the not using the exact same marketing copy across all of your platforms, it is common, and you'll probably see it a lot, and it is in some ways useful to sometimes highlight the same thing across all of your channels. But again, each speak in a different way, and your marketing might not be received on one platform as well or in the same way as it would be on another. So in addition, each platform may utilize different concepts to build your brand. So here again, where I'm talking about Facebook, or I'm sorry, Netflix, and LinkedIn is on the left and it's more business related, and Facebook is on the right and it's more fun and light. So just be aware of the different voices for each channel. Now, it's important to understand the fundamental goals that your social media should be accomplishing. And if you're not meeting your goals, you very well may feel like you're just spinning those wheels and wasting your time with social media. So think about the 3 goals that you want to make sure that you're accomplishing with the resources and time you do have for social media. And that's awareness, customer service, and action. Now, you'll notice as you get into these goals a little bit that can often be tethered together. Generating awareness and providing customer service through social media often helps you to drive more action and engagement. So let's touch base on listings and reviews. Based on what we saw in the search results earlier, this information can certainly come up. Think about the fact that about 84% of consumers are more likely to take an action based on a personal recommendation from a family member or a friend. And if people don't have a family member or a friend to ask, they absolutely find online reviews just as trustworthy as that personal referral. And when they are referred, they're 4 times more likely to make a purchase. Fantastic. Now, this is something important to know. Anyone can create a Yelp page. Customers and even prospects can set those up with reviews, which puts the information out there about your business. So they don't have to own the company to create that Yelp page. So search tools also can scrape that information. So you want to, at the very least, claim them so that you control what people do see about your business. So my recommendation is to claim your Facebook page, because you can do reviews on Facebook, your Google business listing, and your Yelp page. And if there's anything else that's important to your specific industry, you want to grab that, like TripAdvisor is very relevant to anyone who's in the travel and tourism and hospitality industry. Now, these are all free. There are, I'm sure, plenty of other places that have listings. So just make sure you know it's important for your industry. Now, places like Facebook and Google, they're not going to be contacting you directly. Yelp absolutely will, and I would recommend resisting them at all costs. We can talk about that more at the end if you're interested, but just know that Facebook and Google aren't going to be reaching out to you. So you want to make sure that all of your information on any platforms out there is accurate and up to date. Now, content is what people search for, consume, and share online. And it helps a lot with your search engine optimization, or SEO. Now, what is SEO and how does it work? SEO is the process of tweaking your content to improve your rankings in organic or non-paid searches. And this then can result in free traffic to your website, which of course we all want, right? Now, it doesn't need to be complicated. yes, there absolutely, excuse me, are some technical things that may require some assistance. But at its core, it's about delivering relevant and meaningful content to the people that you're trying to reach. SEO is search engine optimization again. A simple way to think about this is to produce fresh, relevant content that aligns to what your audience is searching for. Now, a blog is a great place for answering questions that your customers are asking. You don't have to get hung up on stuffing keywords for the purpose of ranking. You know, you might have heard about that back in the day. That's absolutely not what we're doing anymore. Search engines like Google are smart. So you want to write for people and tweak for SEO. You want to create a calendar to stay consistent if that's the sort of thing that helps you, but make sure that your blog is on your own domain. So for your SEO, you want to identify the terms that you should be found for. So, you know, for me, social media coaching, email marketing management, small business marketing, those sorts of things are what I want people finding me for. What are they for you? So think about keywords for your products and your services. You also want to be found for your company name. So your website should have your company name worked into the text in a variety of different places. And then for a blog, if the idea of blogging seems overwhelming to you, if writing isn't your deal, then it might be more complicated to get a blog started just because you don't necessarily have the content to write about. But what I want to say is that all of you have content to write about, and you probably already have the start of a lot of blogs going already because of emails that you have sent to clients and prospects. You probably have the bones of a bunch of blogs already started because you have written your clients' emails and answering questions that they have, right? You know right now what the top 3 questions are that people ask you about your business. You've probably written a bunch of emails about that. So take that you already have put together and start using that to create blogs for your business. Oh, yeah. Inventing friends and family. Yes, absolutely. So you've already got the bones, get started. All right, so now I just want to note here that the online landscape has absolutely changed over the years. Now, once you have all of these foundational elements in place, you can really add some gas to the fire by using paid search or by paid tactics. It might make sense for you to add search engine marketing so that you show up in the paid search results. I would definitely recommend experimenting with Facebook lead ads so that you can reach the right people and then work on building your contact list on your email side of things. So thinking about paid search tactics. Really, it used to just be enough to be on Facebook, for example, and you could reach tons of potential customers. Most things are driven by algorithms now, and that limits the access that you have to your audience or potential audience. And so this is another reason why email marketing is so important. You can control how you communicate with that audience, with what it looks like, what you put in there, what they see. You own that channel. You don't have to worry about the tweaks and changes to the algorithms to the extent that you do beyond the inbox. So in many cases online, you will have to pay something to reach more people, more new people, of course, and that's not bad. You just want to do it in a smart way. So there are a lot of people on Facebook and Instagram, which makes social ads really powerful. Social ads also give you the ability to get really targeted with your audience, and you can target based on location, demographics, some interests and behaviors and their connections. Plus, you'll also have the ability to create lookalike audiences, which help you find people who look like the people who you already have on your email list or on your Facebook page. Social ads can be really cost effective when they're done right. Google ads are another option because people are searching on Google every day. And Google ads display your information at the top of the search results, like we looked at on that one example from Constant Contact, and they are based on keywords and location. So these ads are pay per click, so you'll only pay when people click on your ads. Now, when you're first getting started, people think, oh, I've got to have thousands of dollars to do ads, and you don't need to have a huge budget like that. With Facebook, for example, and Instagram, you need to start with at least $1 for at least 24 hours. And that's the minimum that you can do. So, have a budget of $20 to $50, and you can actually get some good results from that. Set that money aside to help you test into using paid ads. You want to test to see what works and what doesn't. Once you get your feet wet, you may want to invest more money on ads that bring you in more business if they're working out for you. But again, I want you to focus on the basics first. Have that website, have your social presence all fleshed out, have a solid foundation, claim your listings and update them first before you start doing paid ads. All right. So when it comes to finding out whether your efforts are successful, you don't want to get distracted by vanity metrics. Likes, followers, shares, they're all leading indicators, but are people actually visiting your website? You want to know if they're joining your email list. Are they contacting you? Are they making purchases? These are the things that should really matter. Now, I'm sure we're going to have some questions about how long all of this takes to work. From an organic perspective, you really want to think of terms of months, 6, 9, 12 months down the line. Online marketing is a marathon, not a sprint. But once you build that foundation and have those strong relationships with your customers, that time frame does shorten because people are talking about you more. So you want to keep adding to your content so that you can tweak things as you go. Now, across all that you're doing online, the idea should be to be useful to your current and potential customers. Your website should be a resource for people, and you can use other channels to drive traffic to your site so that you can continue that cycle and influence people by asking for their email addresses. All right, so let's move on to this last section and talk about how it all comes together. Now, it all comes down to the fact that if you're not top of mind, people very well may forget about your business. People honestly, unfortunately, aren't thinking about you as much as you want them to be. And that can cause you to lose money, unfortunately. So you can keep your business top of mind and encourage new and repeat business by engaging with your current customers. All right, so I talked about this, I mentioned it earlier. Let me show you the engagement marketing cycle. It starts with people who have found their way to your door, and already mentioned how increasingly this happens through your word of mouth referrals, through searches online, people finding you through mobile searches on apps or through listing sites. You can also, these can also be people who have been your customers in the past. So there are several parts of this, and let me talk you through each one. So you're going to start off with connecting with your new prospects, however that may happen through all of those different ways we just talked about. Then you are going to provide them with a wow experience. Now, this experience piece is largely the responsibility of you, the business and business owner, but it's essential for creating that first sale, first customer experience, right? And then it sets up the next stage. And this providing a wow experience doesn't have to be something, out of the stratosphere. It can be as simple as remembering their name when they come back to your business location. It can be the way that you wrap up their purchase in a piece of tissue before you put it in their bag. Whatever it may be, that's their wow experience. And so then the next thing is entice. If the customers had a great experience, they're ready to join to stay connected, right? So sign them up for your list, ask them to follow you on social media, whatever you want them to do, entice them to stay in touch, and then engage with them. At the heart of this cycle is the engagement that you have with your customers, the campaigns they receive, the interactions on social media, all of this good stuff. Now, this engagement is the heart of the relationship between a brand and its customers. And if that brand uses the tools available to it to maintain that engagement and deliver on the promise of engagement that they made when they asked for the email or the social follow, then they're on the path to creating repeat customers with loyalty that are going to give out referrals and all of the stuff that we really love. Now, this brings up social visibility. Because with all of the prevalence of social media, the good news for brands is that a lot of the engagement that happens these days is socially visible. Emails, event invitations, coupons, offers, surveys, everything can be shared today, right? So word of mouth happens online and is socially visible. And this becomes another core component of the discovery of brands by non-customers, bringing new prospects through the door. Social visibility also helps drive another important aspect of behavior change driven by technology and social media, and that is listings and reviews, or reviews and ratings, not listings and reviews, whatever. There are now almost unlimited opportunities to provide feedback for a brand, a product, an experience about any aspect of what a small business does, right? And because of the rise of social media and mobile-centric apps and information discovery, everyone can find those reviews and ratings, and they can act on what they find. They make decisions based on those reviews and ratings, helping to drive new prospects through your door. And so that's the cycle. By focusing on the core elements of the experience, entice and engage, a small business can really create the relationships and interactions that keep existing customers coming back and get them to share the word of mouth and social visibility that will help bring new customers through the door. All right, so here is how we can take action on all of this. So I'm going to give you a little story with your that's important about your website and just your listings in general. Anytime I'm going and looking for a new restaurant, I have to be a little bit particular because I have a variety of dietary restrictions. I've got all sorts of issues. So hooray. So when I'm looking for a new restaurant, I need to do my research, right? And so I found one that looked really great. I was super excited about eating there. They didn't take reservations, no problem, but went. And it was a little bit away. I had to drive like 20, 30 minutes to get there. They weren't open. The information that they had, the listings and hours were wrong. So, I mean, I didn't think to call them to ask if they were actually open because their website said they were. So you don't want that to happen to your customers. So make sure it's updated for your website. If it's a resource for your audience, people will share it. The content that you create is what people search for, consume, and share. Make sure you've got good stuff on there and that it's accurate. Now, make sure you give your website visitors an easy way to stay in touch with you and sign up for your email list. So definitely you want to consider having a pop-up on your website, a dynamic form like this one, so that you can capture those email addresses and stay connected to them. And on social, that means interacting with people, because remember, the whole point is to be social. So this is where you can have some really great conversations and engage with your audience. And of course, for reviews and listing sites, spend some time in there to engage with people who leave you great reviews, thank them for their feedback, and ask for more information to help solve any issues that they might be experiencing. For email, that means sending exclusive, helpful, and/or promotional content. Social is great. I love it. You definitely want it, but you treat it differently. Again, you always want to be encouraging people to join your email list. And again, getting back to the paid advertising, once you have these foundational elements in place, you can amplify your efforts using paid advertising tactics. It definitely may make sense for you to add in search engine marketing so that you can show up in paid search results. And I absolutely, if you do any sort of advertising, I want you to experiment with Facebook lead ads so that you can reach the right people and add them onto your email list. So in many cases online, you will have to pay something to reach more people. But again, that's not a bad thing. You just want to do it in a smart way. So at this point, I want to start to wrap up. You absolutely can be successful by getting your business online. You just need to be there when people are searching, want to provide information and answers to their questions, and engage with people to stay top of mind and build credibility. By following the ideas that I've given you here today, you'll be able to see success from your online efforts, and you'll have the foundation in place. With this foundation in place, you're going to be able to execute on the things that we spoke about today. All right, so I do want to share just a little bit about Constant Contact. It is built to simplify the complex and often confusing task of marketing an idea. And as a Constant Contact partner, I can help you bring it all to life. So Constant Contact has all the tools and tips that you need to get your marketing on track. So whether it's creating great looking email marketing campaigns with welcome emails, list join tools and automation, easily building an awesome mobile friendly website with all of the essentials, running those Google, Facebook, or Instagram ads to get more website traffic, finding new social media, building your email marketing list. You can even manage your social media from Constant Contact. So you can make posts, reply to any comments, view deep analytics to help you take the right next step. You have the ability to create a logo for your brand through Constant Contact. And you also can build an online store, promote your products, track inventory, even across multiple digital storefronts. So Constant Contact has got all of these great tools, features, and you've got my expert guidance to help you succeed with all of this all in one place. So if you don't already have a marketing platform that you love, I am delighted to offer you a free 60-day trial of Constant Contact so that you can see how simple it is to get started marketing your business. With these 5 steps to online success, from getting found, staying in touch, getting repeat business, encouraging engagement, and then looking at the results, you can do this. Now, I also offer complimentary consultations, one-on-one coaching, email marketing management, so I can implement all of this great stuff for you, as well as a very low-cost group membership program to help small business owners with their online marketing efforts. So again, I'm going to be sending out the slides as well as an online marketing checklist later on, so you'll have access to all of this great stuff. All right, now let's get into some questions. I'm going to stop sharing. Here I am. And I saw something come through earlier, so let me go back. Okay, it was, if I don't have a brick and mortar, do you recommend having a PO box on the website or just the city and state? Well, I think that it is definitely a very good idea to have a give people a general idea of where you're located. So for me, I work out of my home. I don't want people showing up at my place. So I do have that I'm located in San Jose. You know, I talk about the fact that I am a San Jose business so that, you know, even though I work with people worldwide, I want people to know, you know, what time zone I'm in at the very least. So I would say putting your city and state is a good thing. If you have a PO box, put it on there because you never know when somebody may want to send something to you that would be valuable for you. So if you got a PO box, I'd put it on there. Otherwise, I would do city and state. And Craig asks, do you recommend using a landing page for the homepage of your website? So really any page of a website can be a landing page. The big thing with your homepage of your website is that you want to make sure, again, that it answers those questions that we talked about before. But really, the important thing is when someone lands on your page, can they tell what you do and who you do it for so that they don't have to guess. You don't want people saying, gosh, is this the right thing for me or not? Did you have something in the, did I answer that the way that you were asking it? You can clarify if you want. And feel free, oh, you're already unmuted. You absolutely can unmute yourself and ask questions too. What is the personality of TikTok? Well, it is a very popular app. It has gotten so popular so quickly because it is very, very new in the grand scheme of social media platforms. It's definitely younger, but as it goes with all social platforms, as they get popular, this is the way it always goes. When they start, it's young people using them. And then parents get on them and say, what are all these kids doing on TikTok or whatever? I want to go and look and see what my kids are doing. So they get on the platform to start monitoring things and just, because they're curious. And then as more people get on them and they get more popular, then it's like, oh, grandparents are coming on so they can check out what's going on with the grandkids or whatever. And then eventually the younger folks who are on it are like, ugh, all these old people are on here, and then they go and start using another social platform. So that's kind of the way it always goes. It starts out with a younger crowd and then eventually gets older. Like Facebook obviously started off with college students, but not very many Gen Z people use Facebook at this time. So it's more older millennials, Gen X, and baby boomers who are on Facebook because, again, they started when people were in college, and as time has gone on, they have gotten older, and young people are like, ew, gross, my parents are on here, I'm going somewhere else. So that's kind of the way it always goes. But TikTok is definitely very popular. It can be a great way to get visibility. It's all about videos. So if you are not comfortable with videos, then it's probably not the right platform for you. All right. Do you recommend that we also connect a funnel management CRM tool to that home or landing page? So if you want to be that fancy, absolutely go for it. That is something that I think is you can do the very simple version of that by having a place for people to sign up, join your email list, whatever that tool may be, and then have that the trigger for an automation be someone joining your list. So for example, on my website, I have a couple of different ways for people to sign up for my list. And as soon as people sign up, they will get a welcome email, or the first email in a welcome series. So they'll get 3 emails over the course of time. And so that is all, I do it all through Constant Contact because that's what I use and I love it. So that is an example of a funnel. I'm not using, ClickFunnels or anything like that, but that's absolutely something that I would recommend doing. You want to capture those email addresses, however it works best for you and your company when people come to your website. And, I am not a fan of pop-ups myself, and a lot of people don't like them, but I'll tell you what, they're very effective. I started my business in January 2014. In June of 2019, so that's what, 4.5 years. In that amount of time, I had, I don't remember the specific number. Let's say I had 200 people sign up for my email list in that amount of time. From June 2019 to June 2020, I had approximately the same amount of people in that 1 year sign up as I did in the previous year, 4.5 years, because I had that pop-up. And as annoying as we think they are effective. So I would also recommend, I have that pop-up, comes up about, I think 5 seconds after people have been on my website. People close that out of those all the time, right? So on the footer of my website, on every single page of my website, I have a button for people to sign up there as well. So if they've closed the pop-up, they at least can get to it on that other button. But I basically try to make it ridiculously easy for people to sign up and give me their email address. I want them to want to hear from me. Okay.
So I have a question that just gets in. When you're talking about that, is there a huge difference in email marketing when it comes to like a newsletter versus a blog? Do people see them the same way, or do they see them in different ways?
So what I would recommend for all small business owners is sending out at least 1 email a month. Now, this is going to vary depending on what type of business you have, like a music venue that has new people coming through and performing every week, that you would want to send more emails than just once a month. But for the vast majority of small businesses, once a month is going to be totally sufficient. And really for all small businesses, it's the bare minimum. So once a month, you're sending out an email. That email should contain something about your services, and it should contain something that is helping to educate your audience. Now, if that means that you have a great blog that you wrote, absolutely put that blog into your email that you send out once a month so that you are giving people helpful information, but then also driving people back to your website. And once they're on your website, reading your amazing blog that you wrote, then they very well may say, oh, I want some more information. And they'll poke around on your website and get that. So blogs can be a really effective tool for driving traffic to your website. And of course, if you are writing them, then you want them to be sent out to your audience on a regular basis so that they can see all of that great content that you're putting together.
So, yeah,
Okay.
so they are different. They do have different functions for sure then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anybody else have any questions right now while we still have Tracey? You've given us so much good information. This has just been really wonderful. I do have another question about those introductory emails.
Mhm.
So whenever they sign up for that, those are set up automatically.
That's right.
So
It's
go out automatically.
email
Okay.
automation. And so I have it all set up on the back end of my account. And it's connected various email platforms. So any reputable email platform should give you the ability to do a welcome email. You may not be able to do a welcome series, but you should at least be able to do a welcome email from any reputable email marketing program.
Okay.
So that is technically email automation, which means that you are not hitting the send button every time. You have it set up. So for mine, the trigger of the email or of the automation is when someone joins the list. So someone joins the list, that triggers the event on the back end of my constant contact account. And so then that sends out the first email in the series. So it's all done on the back end. You set it up once and it should be evergreen information in that email automation. You send it once or you set it up once and it sends on your behalf without you having to do anything. Oh God, it makes your life so much easier. And I would absolutely recommend, that's something that I review once a year and more frequently if I know that something has changed or the focus of my business has changed. But once a year, I review my email automation to make sure that it's still reflective of me and my branding and my messaging that I want to put out. But it's absolutely not something that you need to be looking at even every month. It's a set it and forget it sort of thing, and then remember it once a year.
Right. Well, this has been great. I want to keep us all on time. So if anybody has any last minute questions, I'll take it. Maybe one more.
I don't want to take up all the time. I do have one more.
Go ahead.
Awesome. Sorry. So regarding, you mentioned all the platforms and how they're all different. How do you recommend frequency or cadence for each platform?
For social media?
Social media.
Well, so it depends on which platforms that you're on.
Right.
Facebook, Instagram, I would recommend posting once a day. Twitter, you should be going, minimum of 5 times a day, maybe more. Pinterest also is a fast moving platform. So more like several times a day. LinkedIn, at least 3 times a week. So, it's not one size fits all. They all have their own things.
Right. Okay. That was helpful. Thank you.
My pleasure.
When do you have time to run a business with all the time you have to spend on the social media, right?
And that's why I don't want all of you to be on every single platform out there. Just pick one.
Interns, they're free. You work with the San Leandro Unified School District. They love this stuff.
That's true.